If you enjoy royal secrets, the tensions hidden behind official smiles, and exclusive revelations, then this video is for you. Subscribe, share this video, leave a comment with your thoughts on this explosive affair, and above all, stay until the end. What we're about to reveal will completely change your view of the Danish royal family. A whisper in the hushed corridors of Amalienborg has become a silent cry. What began as a harmless rumor is now confirmed in the corridors of Danish power. King Frederik X, barely ascending to the throne, has reportedly flown into a rage after discovering that Queen Mary, his wife of 2 decades, had secretly considered supporting the future plans of Prince Joachim, the king's brother, outside of the strictly royal sphere. A betrayal for Frederik, a legitimate ambition for Mary, disguised revenge for Joachim. Nothing seems more certain. At first glance, the Danish monarchy presents the image of a united family. But behind the flower-bedecked balconies, the official embraces, and the matching outfits during public appearances, lies a much more tense reality. For years, simmering tensions have pitted Frederik and Joachim against each other. The former, reserved, disciplined, and built to rule, has always shouldered the burden of duty. The latter, more fiery, has long felt relegated to the background despite his talents and charisma. In 2023, things turned sour when Queen Margrethe decided to strip Joachim's children of their princely titles. A decision that left deep scars, especially in Joachim's mind. But what could have remained a family dispute now seems to be taking an institutional turn. Since Frederik became king, Mary has occupied a strategic position in the monarchy. However, according to sources close to the palace, the sovereign recently began discreet discussions with Joachim about long-term projects, particularly related to his possible return to Denmark from his diplomatic post in Washington. The idea, to reposition Joachim in a sphere of public, even royal, influence, away from Frederik. And this is where the scandal begins. The king, informed of these confidential exchanges, reportedly reacted with uncharacteristic anger. Renowned for his self-control and restraint, he reportedly expressed a deep sense of betrayal, according to several witnesses. Not only because of his brother, with whom relations have been frosty for months, but especially because of Mary. For while the king's trust rests on solid foundations, it falters when decisions are made without him. For Frederik, these exchanges between Mary and Joachim are not just a family matter. They constitute a threat to the balance he is trying to maintain in a monarchy already under pressure. This latent conflict isn't limited to the backstage. Several observers of Danish royal life have recently noted a subtle change in the royal couple's appearances. Fewer tender gestures, more fleeting glances, a palpable distance at certain events. During the last official visit to Aarhus, Mary appeared smiling but distant, while Frederik seemed preoccupied, almost absent. These signs are small, but significant for those who know how to observe royal codes. The question now stirring in the corridors of power is, why would Mary take the risk of acting in this way, in apparent opposition to her husband? Some suggest that the queen is driven by a deep sense of justice. For her, Joachim has been treated unfairly and deserves a second chance, a more equitable place in the royal family. Others believe that Mary, herself an outsider at the Danish court in its early days, understands better than anyone Joachim's sense of exclusion. But there are also those who see it as a more personal strategy. Mary, tired of her representative role, would like to have greater freedom of action and influence, outside the rigid framework of the king. Supporting her brother-in-law would therefore be a way to broaden her own scope of action, while surrounding herself with discreet allies. A risky bet, certainly, but not a foolish one in a monarchy increasingly scrutinized by the media and the public. Prince Joachim, for his part, cultivates a skillful silence. Officially, he devotes himself to his diplomatic post, but unofficially, he maintains close ties with several influential figures in Denmark and abroad. He is reportedly building, step by step, a gentle media comeback, reinforced by public statements on sensitive issues such as education, mental health, and the modernization of institutions. Consensual themes, which would allow him to return to the game without directly clashing with his brother's legitimacy. But can this controlled return be achieved without a hitch? If Queen Mary continues to discreetly support him, how far will she go? And above all, how will King Frederik react to a dynamic beyond his control? Several close friends at the palace fear a rupture, not on the marital level. The couple remains officially united, but on the level of political and institutional trust. For at the highest levels of the Danish state, every gesture has consequences. And every word, even whispered, can become a media earthquake. The Danish people, for their part, are watching closely. While Mary remains very popular, her support for Joachim could be divisive. Some would see her as a courageous woman, true to her convictions. Others might criticize her for not standing by her husband during a difficult time. As for Frederik, his posture as a calm and thoughtful man could waver if public opinion begins to perceive weakness in his handling of family affairs. What this crisis reveals, implicitly, is the fragility of a monarchy once thought stable. Behind the official smiles, the carefully planned appearances, and the ceremonial speeches, there are tensions, rivalries, and wounds. The Danish crown, a symbol of national unity, is perhaps going through one of its most critical periods in decades. What if the heart of this storm was not a clash between brothers, but a queen ready to do anything to reshape the future according to her own vision? Mary, once perceived as the model wife, the perfect mother, the princess from Australia, today seems to embody a far more complex figure, that of a strategist, a woman of influence capable of shaking up established codes. The future of the Danish monarchy may well depend on the choices she makes in the coming months. Will she continue to walk this fine line between loyalty and ambition? And will Frederik, sometimes a reluctant king, succeed in imposing his authority without fracturing what remains of the family unit? Or are we witnessing the first cracks in a century-old edifice, undermined from within by personal ambition? As eyes turn to Copenhagen, one question is burning on everyone's lips. How far is Queen Mary willing to go to support Joachim, even if it means defying her own king?